Yellowknife to Resolute has never, to our knowledge, been done by wheeled vehicles. Now, of course...
Well, because you'd have to be mad, Andrew. Because you'd have to be stark raving mad to drive from Yellowknife to Resolute.
We call it adventure and exploration, but it also fits under the rubric of stark raving mad. I hear you.
Last week, at the start of Plane Containing Russians Gate, I sent a message to the TransGlobal Car Expedition, because it seemed to be all about them, really, and their people, to say, what's going on here? Do you want to talk about this? And I didn't hear anything back at the time, but then yesterday I got a Facebook message from the TransGlobal Car Expedition to say, we're ready to talk, why don't you come on down? So here we are outside Buffalo Airways, because inside is the TransGlobal Car Expedition, the source of all this nonsense about Russians in Yellowknife. Let's go and find out more. I mean, I do need a new back right tyre. We could have one of these away and just see if it'll work. Just trying to decide how you get the canoe off. Most of Yellowknife watching this imagines there is some wild Russian top-secret expedition now occurring in this hangar because of what has occurred over the past week. How would you describe what exactly is occurring here and your role in this?
I would describe it's about exactly the opposite of that. I mean, the irony is that we're not really people who feel that national. You know, we've got 2 Ukrainians here. We've got somebody from Georgia. I'm Canadian by birth, but I live in the U.S. We have an American. We've got 3 Icelandics. So it's the opposite of a secret mission. I think that possibly an issue was that we didn't announce ourselves ahead of time very well, in part because this isn't the main expedition. The main expedition is actually next year, when these vehicles and people take off from the south tip of South America and then circumnavigate the globe completely through both poles. That's never been done vertically, and do that world's first. There are 2 parts of that route that are so difficult that we're pre-running them or doing a reconnaissance of them. One of them is in Antarctica, where if you go to Antarctica, you fly to a glacier and then go to the South Pole. And vehicles like the ones behind me...
I love how you say normally. Normally when you fly to Antarctica, well, you go to a glacier. Like, how many times have you gone to Antarctica and done that?
You know, I haven't, but I'll tell you what, the Icelandic guys behind me have logged 300,000 kilometers in Antarctica.
What it is bringing to us is a lot of new challenges, which again bring a new technology to many places. In Iceland, we use these vehicles as a normal vehicle. It drives in and around, it takes a normal service, goes to a gas station, you go out shopping. But you can also cross a glacier.
They also use tires at 2 or 3 PSI, depending on which vehicle we're talking about, that have very little impact on the land, because we want to go and tread lightly the whole way. So all of this is proving the concept that these vehicles can work. And next year when we get here, at about the same time of year, that we'll be able to continue the round-the-world expedition because we've already pre-run this route.
Presenting to you Oliver Williams, Ice Fishing Expeditions. And I'm just going to take all these wheels off, get rid of all those tires. I'm going to put some skis on this thing, and then we're going to hollow out the little middle of it, and then we're just going to fish. Come and show me one of these. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly or not. Yamalia?
Yeah, it's pretty good, Yamalia. I mean, honestly, trying to pronounce it in English is difficult anyway. The goal here is to make it as light as possible, so you're dealing with 1 millimeter thick alloy in the body and a relatively small engine, basically from a Toyota truck, but a small one, a 4-cylinder engine, even though it can power all of this. It doesn't go fast. Maxes out at about 40 kilometers per hour. But it just keeps going. The front tires, they have little studs in them so that if they fall in an open lead, they can claw back up onto the ice. It takes a minute, but they're very good at doing that. They can sleep 3 or possibly 4 people inside. They're only about 1,700 kilograms unladen, so they're very light. When these tires especially are deflated, the impact on the ground is very, very minimal, and they're just able to keep going.
Don't mind me asking, how much does one cost?
You know, I don't know. And it's funny because we had one of the private entities, that helped build the winter road, come up and start saying, well, you know, can I buy one? And we said, well, probably. You could talk to the guy who created one. He said, yeah, we probably, buy one, but it's not really a big market for them. But if you need them, we'll figure out how to make it work.
Generally speaking, if a diamond mine joint venture has to ask how much it costs, the chances are I can't afford it.
I don't think it's like that, actually. I mean, I can't speak to it, but it's not what you think. It's not like an airplane. It's an engineered vehicle. It's a car.
We've had enough trouble with airplanes, right? I know you've been on the phone with the government of the Northwest Territories. There will be Indigenous governments who will have quite an eye on this as well, because of course it will involve passing across quite a lot of traditional land. What's that dialogue like?
It's actually been very positive. You know, unfortunately, we were late to the game because the dialogue started off in a different direction of what are you all doing here. But now that we're having it, we're finding everybody very positive, and that's consistent with how we felt all around Yellowknife. Everybody from Buffalo Air to the Super 8 to all the restaurants and everything are super enthusiastic and happy to have us here. And now that we're speaking with the governments, both of the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, and also with we've just begun speaking with the Dean Nation, with the various representatives of the various nations, which we're still, frankly, just coming to understand how to connect with best. We're finding people very positive and very helpful. So we want to continue that dialogue and build on it.
I suppose one advantage of coming here for a test is that now you know for the full expedition next time around who you need to go talk to, the Dene Nation, the Clinchon government, all these people, and make sure they know you're coming.
That's exactly right. And to be honest, it's funny, like, we think we're fairly smart, but when you're looking in from a distance, it's hard to know how things really operate on the ground. And so we're learning that, and that's on us, and we're really happy to be opening those doors. And we hope going forward that it's not only positive but helpful. I mean, our message is communities and cultures working together to bring good technology and also to be climate positive. So we're really trying to figure out how best to work with people on a really granular level, and that's not only here but around the rest of the world. Like, we have to figure these things out.